Actually have body camera footage of some of these members of Congress assaulting our ICE enforcement officers.
America, we got a shocking story of Democrat lawmakers literally shoving and elbowing their way past federal agents to storm an ICE detention facility in New Jersey. Newly released body cam footage shows Representative Lamonica McIver screaming like an absolute lunatic and physically assaulting a DHS agent to force her way into the facility. And this wasn't just a routine visit, this was a coordinated political stunt. What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is the same Democrat Party that lectures us about respect our institutions and follow the law, and nobody is above the law. But when it comes to their own behavior, they think that they are above the law. They're physically assaulting federal agents, these federal agents are just trying to do their job. All for a political photo op. Let me break this down for you. Representative Lamonica McIver, Bonnie Watson Coleman, and Robert Menendez decided they wanted to inspect the ICE detention facility in New Jersey, but instead of following proper protocols, they showed up unannounced. They forced their way into the facility when they were simply just asked just to wait. The body cam footage is absolutely shocking. You can see Representative Lamonica, the one wearing the red blazer, literally shoving and elbowing her way past DHS agents to get through the gate. This isn't just rude behavior. This is assault on a federal officer, which is a serious crime.
That's Baraka being pulled behind a security gate by masked agents at ICE Detention Center Delaney Hall. ICE alleges Mayor Baraka was trespassing and ignored warnings to leave the premises.
I'm not asking you again. Right? I've already given you two opportunities now to walk out. You're going to walk out.
The mayor had accompanied 3 Democratic members of Congress who were there to inspect the facility over health and safety concerns.
We're here conducting an oversight visit, which we have the power to do as congressional members. Statutory authority.
Representatives Lamonica McIver, Bonnie Watson Coleman, and Rob Menendez Jr. were permitted onto the property.
It wasn't just members of Congress involved in the incident. Newark Mayor Baraka was also there, and he ended up being arrested for trespassing after refusing to leave when he was ordered to do so. This is clearly, at least my personal opinion, a coordinated political stunt designed to create headlines and stir up outrage from leftist legacy media.
Witnesses say he complied with orders to leave, but was later arrested outside the restricted area.
When they arrested the mayor, he was in the public domain. He was not on their property.
We were there with them, telling them that they could not do that. He's not doing anything wrong. And through that, we also were assaulted by ICE police officers. It's all on video. I was assaulted by multiple ICE officials, as well as the congresswoman was literally roughed up. So totally, was unnecessary force. I mean, it really was ridiculous.
Of course, the Democrats are going to try to spin this as some type of injustice. They're claiming they were assaulted by ICE officers when the body cam footage clearly shows it was the other way around. They're the ones pushing and shoving and forcing their way into a secure facility.
An immigration clash in Newark, New Jersey today. Reactions now pouring in tonight here at the live desk after the arrest of its mayor, Baraka. Here's the incident when it all unfolded here. Federal agents putting him in handcuffs, hauling him out of the ICE detention center, where he has been protesting there all week long.
Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security Tricia McLaughlin is setting the record straight here, explaining that there was a bus full of detainees trying to get through the gate when these Democrat politicians and protesters stormed through and got through the first security checkpoint. This is why they had to be restrained. They were interfering with a secure operation.
Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security Tricia McLaughlin.
What happened was there was a bus full of detainees trying to get through the gate when these Democrat politicians and protesters stormed that gate and got to the first security checkpoint. So when you're seeing any of these people being restrained, it's because they illegally broke into this facility.
At least in my personal opinion, this incident is part of a larger pattern of Democrats that are creating chaos around the border and the border policies. The detention facility they were, quote unquote, inspecting is operated by a private company, which has a 15-year, $1 billion contract with ICE to run this particular center. This is all part of President Trump's program to enforce our immigration laws and deport those who are in our country illegally.
Demonstrators have been protesting the opening of the 1,000-plus bed detention center, which is operated by a private for-profit prison company called Geo Group. The Trump administration has a 15-year, $1 billion contract with Geo Group to run the center, all part of the president's mass deportation program. The latest immigration flashpoint coming on the same day the White House says it's considering suspending people's rights to due process as part of its immigration crackdown.
And the Trump administration isn't backing down. They're considering all these options to address the invasion on our southern border, including potentially suspending the right of habeas corpus in certain cases. This is a serious response to a serious national security threat.
The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus can be suspended in a time of invasion. So I would say that's an option we're actively looking at.
Mayor Baraka has already had his first court appearance. He's been charged with 1 count of trespassing.
Mayor Baraka was released from custody after spending 5 hours in federal custody. Now he's facing trespassing charges, which could potentially lead to jail time if he's convicted. But instead of taking responsibility for his actions, of course, guys, he is playing victim. Baraka claims that his rights were violated, but in reality, it's that he was part of a group that was interfering with a federal operation. And it's worth noting, he's not just the mayor of New York, he's also a Democrat candidate running for governor of New Jersey.
We know first and foremost, this is garnering some national attention. Ras Baraka, this mayor of Newark, New Jersey, also notably a Democratic candidate running for a governor of New Jersey. He spent several hours in police custody while protesters, the current governor of New Jersey, and other lawmakers were calling for his release. Yeah, you can hear them there making those calls. He was eventually let go around 8 p.m. last night.
At least in my personal opinion, this was as much as a campaign stunt as anything else. After being released, Baraka told supporters, "I didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong," he says.
But the video evidence tells a completely different story. He was on public property when federal agents handcuffed him, but only after he returned from having an argument with federal agents and officers where he was told he couldn't tour the facility because he wasn't a member of Congress.
And as he was being released, he told supporters, quote, "I didn't do anything wrong." He added that he couldn't discuss the case under advice from his lawyers, but expressed strong support for immigrants in his community. Now, as far as the actual arrest, video shows the moments that it happened. Baraka was on the public side of that ICE detention center gate when agents handcuffed him with ice. Witnesses say that he had just returned to that area after having an argument with those federal officials where the mayor was told that he could not tour the facility because he was not a member of Congress.
So what's the bottom line here? We have Democrat lawmakers and Democrat mayors physically assaulting federal agents, trespassing on federal property, and interfering with immigration operations, all for the sake of a public political stunt. And then they have the audacity to claim that they're victims.
Baraka actually responding to that shortly after being released.
I think they completely violated my rights. I'm the mayor of the city. I have the right to go anywhere in this city, particularly in places where I think our laws are being violated.
Yeah, so in a statement, DHS claiming that the city's mayor was part of a group of protesters, including those members of Congress who DHS says stormed the gate.
The interim U.S. Attorney General for New Jersey put it perfectly. She said that Baraka has willingly chosen to disregard the law. And remember, guys, nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody's above the law.
No person is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
You're not above the law. You're not an elite. You're not untouchable. And so it's nice to see that the rule of law has returned.
No one is above the law, not mayors, not members of Congress, not anyone. And if you assault a federal agent and trespass on federal property, there should be consequences.
Now, the interim U.S. attorney for New Jersey posted that Baraka, quote, has willingly chosen to disregard the law. Basically, here, these federal officials are saying this whole event was unlawful, that lawmakers didn't schedule a tour. But on the other side, you have Democratic lawmakers saying they don't have to, that they have a legal right to inspect this facility without notice, Hannah.
And like you mentioned, he's running for governor. He was arrested last night. What happens now for the mayor of Newark?
America, this is the modern Democrat Party, entitled, unhinged, with absolutely zero class. They think that the rules don't apply to them. They think they can physically assault a federal agent and face absolutely no consequences. And they think that they can use their position of power to obscure the enforcement of our immigration laws.
So first and foremost, he has been charged with trespassing here. That is a misdemeanor, possibly leads to the penalty of jail time if convicted. He's going to have to go to court and fight these charges unless they are dropped. But if not, this is something that could potentially play out in court. We'll get more insight if it does happen like that about what actually happened.
In the end, guys, remember, nobody is above the law. Not even Democrat politicians who think that they can push and shove and scream their way into federal facilities. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.